These are the contents for our presentation today. The first is introduction to the issues. Next is factors that leads to mental health issues rising in workplace. The third content is effect or impact from mental health issues rising in workplace. Next is solution. After that is analysis of solution, and last but not least is recommendation and justification.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day to Madam RUDZA HANIM. My name is Nurhuda binti Shidin. My metric number is 2020894478. So, according to the WHO, mental health here is described as a state of well-being in which every person will fulfill their own potential and can cope with the usual stresses of life, and also can work effectively and is able to contribute to their community. So, mental health issues in the workplace are growing concern in today's society, and mental health issues often manifest as stress, anxiety, burnout, depression, and can also have a lot of effect on both individuals' well-being and the overall performance of a company. So, without proper measure in place to manage their mental health, the company can suffer from decreased morale, productivity, and team engagement, leading to a decrease in overall performance. People often refers these mental health problems as invisible illness, and the frequency of mental health difficulties is increasing, which affects the individual's life, particularly at work. So, the negative preconceptions make it more difficult for the workers to discuss their mental health conditions openly. Many workers conceal their situations even in the most progressive workplace because they are afraid of being discriminated as someone who has mental problems. According to the research presented by Employment Hero, 50% of Malaysians stated that the pandemic had caused them to deprioritize their jobs. So also, according to the results of the survey, 58% of Malaysian employees are burnt out, and 51% have an average or even poor work-life balance. So supporting mental health at work now is a necessity rather than a choice. Therefore, it is essential for employers to understand the importance of mental health and to provide resources and support for employees who are struggling in the workplace.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is ATIKAH SYAZWANI binti ABDUL KARIM. So I will explain about the factors that lead to mental health rising in workplace. Let's get started. In terms of many workplace issues, mental health issues are unquestionable on the rise these days. A person may have mental health issue if they are not identified their capacity to handle their demand on the job and are unable to cope with their stressful situation on the workers' careers. There are a few factors that can cause mental health issues at the workplace, and I will explain more further about few factors such as toxic organization culture, such as bullying, discrimination, and harassment in the workplace, workload that are excessive, and lack of training and support. The first factor is toxic organization culture. It is a workplace that promotes bad habits and also conflict among team members. I will explain more detail about the culture, which is the first one is employee bullying behaviors. It occurs when all and senior employees take advantage of directing and commanding new employees to do their job or other job. It is also by giving unfair or unattainable tasks to complete within a short range of deadlines. Bullying victims may suffer from a variety of serious mental health disorders, including depression, anxiety, panic attacks, and also traumatic disorder. The second one is harassment. It is also a serious problem everywhere, but it is particularly prevalent in the workplace. Harassment also can be defined by many types depending the situation. It includes both sexual harassment and discrimination. For example, most workers may face offensive jokes or gestures because of their body or appearance. It is mostly happens to women workers, so it will make them feel unsafe and uncomfortable at their own workplace. Most of the time, these cases are put aside because the victim feel shy and hesitate to report the incident to their manager or other person in charge. They're afraid if they report the incident, the person will harm them by committing a crime. So the effect is it will make them feel treated and stressed out at work. Okay, for the last is discrimination between organization. It is when someone is treated unfairly or unequally due to certain characteristics, including race, ethnicity, gender, age, and other factors. It always happens when the workplace only gives special service to the same races. So the employees will feel abandoned and unfairly treated as a result, which will give negative impacts to them. The second factor is that workloads that are excessive. This occurs when employees assign a lot of work and make their employees submit it by a tight deadline. So it will affect employees both at work and home because many of them will continue the unfinished tasks after hours. However, working long hours and being under constant pressure might cause some individuals to become intellectual, emotionally, or physically exhausted. Okay, for the last factors, employees' mental health may suffer if they lack of necessary training, direction, or support to perform their duty that they are expected to perform. Employees with an adequate training are more likely to produce poor performance on the job because they don't know what the suitable ways to do the job and probably will experience higher level of stress at work. An important factor at work is also employees' motivation, which is affect how well the department and even the whole business perform.
There are many effects from mental health issues rising in a workplace, which are strained relationship with a co-worker, poor relationship with the managers or superiors, declining company revenue, damaged reputation and negative brand association, and lastly, higher risk of losing a job. Firstly is having strained relationship with a co-worker. This could make the worker in between parties uncomfortable and also an unhealthy rivalry. Instead of improving teamwork, the interaction will feel strained and tense. Not only that, poor relationship with the managers or the superiors is one of the effects. The constant stress at work will cause the relationships to become even more strained due to the managers controlling and handing out lots of duties. Declining company revenue is one of the effects of mental health in a workplace. A business with a good earnings has healthy employees. Customers can sense when a worker is unhappy or stressed. This will lead them to find new businesses with a positive reinforcement of customer service. Thus, this also affects the company itself as well. When there's no regular clients or customers due to the effect of poor mental health among workers, this could lead to the damaged reputation and negative brand association, because nowadays the clients could share their experience in social media and make the company appear negative. The work performed by employees give the company a face and a reputation. That's why mental health among workers should be considered. And lastly, the higher risk of losing a job. Most employees are most frequently fired or quit their job due to their performances in their company, just because of their bad mental health condition.
An employee is more likely to leave the company in a quest of a better situation elsewhere if nothing is done to make them feel valued or cared for.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Nabilah binti Muhammad AZMAN. So I will continue with the existing solution and the new solution. So the existing solution that we have in Malaysia is Employment of Act, Occupational Safety and Health, Suitable Work Schedule and the Design of the Workplace. So the new solution that I suggest is provide new equipment in the workplace. So I will continue with the existing solution that we have in Malaysia. So first is Employment of Act. So this law has been amended by way of a ministerial order on 12 August 2022. But this law doesn't enough to apply to all employees because this law just covers to those who earn a monthly wage of 4,000 or less per month, or those who regardless of how much they earn are covered by Section 2 on the first schedule. Okay, the second is Occupational Safety and Health 1994, OSHA. So this law provide the legal foundation for ensuring the safety, health and welfare for the whole Malaysian workforce. And the OSHA 1994 regulation are based on a self-regulatory tailored to the specific business or organization in order to create an efficient safety and health organization and performance. Next, the company should create a suitable work schedule for each department that fits their employee working style. So no employee should input in excessive overtime hours beyond their regular working hours. And this will help employees to manage their time properly and also will help employees to think more clearly to doing their work. So last is the design of the workspace. So the design of the workspace can reduce the employee stress and can motivate them to complete their task perfectly. And the companies also can provide them a balconies or garden to avoid isolation and feeling that can cause depression. So for the new solution, I suggest to companies to provide their workers a new equipment. Employee satisfaction is significantly impacted by having a well-managed facilities. So they will able to concentrate better and feel better about their job. It also can reduce sick days, which can raise team efficiency. For the less stress, employees will experience less stress and tension while working because the new office equipment that is provided to them, such as computers, will have the most recent software update and making their job easier to complete. Last, the workers will benefit because they will be happier and more motivated on their work.
Hi, my name is FAIRUZ binti ZAINE. So now we move to existing solution, which is Employment Act 1955. For the advantage in this existing solution is, the first one is female employee does not get mistreatment. Before the Employment Act 1955 been created, female employee always been mistreated. For example, they've been forced to work without rest after they had maternity. With this law, every female employee get maternity leave for 98 consecutive days following each pregnancy for them to rest. Next advantage is employees' work-life become balanced because in this law they had stated that every employee had the right to work not more than 8 hours per day and 45 hours per week. This regulation is beneficial for employees because some of the employees like to overtime their employee without give them their payment. The third advantage is the employee entitled to EPF, SOCSO, and medical insurance, so that the employee able to pay their medical expenses in the future and also after retirement or in unfortunate event occurs while working. Even though the advantage make the law looks perfect, it is also had their drawbacks. The first one is the agreement of the Employment Act 1955 only apply to the certain people. For the employee that had not aware of this may assume that it also apply to them, even though only some of them can. The employee cannot take legal action towards the company as they the one who signed the contract with their own will. Next disadvantage is the employers still had the full authority to retire their employee early from the agreement. For example, when the COVID-19 pandemic occurs, the unresponsible employers take the advantage to retire some of the employees without any good reason, because they want to hire new employees that they can pay them cheaply. This is because at that time, most of the people had financial problem and they will willingly accept the offers. Next is the new solution, which is provide brand new cutting-edge facilities. The reason of the new solution being created because our mental health is influenced by environment. The advantage of the new solution is happy and less stress. For example, if the company provide them a new pantry that has a various of snacks and room to relax, like in a Shopee office, it can make them less stressed and keep their mind from overworking. Other benefit is feel motivated and comfortable. This is shown when the company give their employees new computer and new working chair. This is because new computer can make their employees work smoother without any lags, and the chair can make them sit with comfortable without worrying any back pain. Lastly, we move to the disadvantage of the new solution. The first one is the employee have to learn new things. For the example, if they have been given new computer, some of the computer have different features. So the employee had to learn the new features and it can make the work more slower. Next is some employee will become lazy and skip out from work because they like to play in the playroom, and it will affect their colleagues because they had to complete their lazy workers' works. It's become burden and it can make the bad environment in the working.
We add two answer-related mental health problems from the solution analysis. First, the current solution, which derives primarily from the law and act of the government, and second, is new solution that provided from us. Recommendation and justification. The Employment Act of 1955 was one of the already existing options that we review, where one of it is maternity leave, where a woman worker can receive 90 days following maternity day if she worked for more than 4 months prior to becoming pregnant. Next, employees should work 8 hours each day, not including overtime, with 1 day off per week and 1 hour of short break per day. Employees should receive double if they are willing to work during their rest day. Lastly, each employee is given access to a retirement plan, social security, and also insurance programs like EPF and SOCSO, as well as health insurance. By doing this system, employees can benefit from their wages in the future by saving for retirement and receiving bonuses and commissions. Lastly, we decide on the Employment Act of 1995 because it relates to employee benefit. Without realizing, it can have a significant impact on how well employees are performing at work and can also help them feel less stressed and anxious. The advantages are, first, it can help them feel a little more secure about their financial future. Second, it also can consider as an additional incentive to continue doing outstanding work. Meanwhile, the benefit that employees receive will be of great assistance for them and as a reward for their hard work.